So the point here is we need to make it easy. If it's too hard, it won't work. People can be overwhelmed by the challenge of trying to break a complex problem. So give people the big picture of draw a map, a high level map of, well, these are the steps that I want to go through, but let's just ignore everything below step one. Let's focus on step one. Let's get that right. And let's see what happens then. And we can react from there. And so you do really want to get people bought in. Again, like I said with the last one, build this map with your colleagues. Don't try to build it independently. So now looking at technology. I often say, and people can get a bit frustrated at this, I always say technology is the easy bit. It's kind of customers and people are the challenging pieces, but which can get a lot of technology people riled up. But technology is complex as well. And I'm going to give an example here of what was a seemingly complicated problem and why it became a complex one. So Ryanair in 2013, they had the same looking website that they had had for maybe 10 years. It worked, but it was ugly. So in 2014, they did a UI refresh. It's actually the exact same website. All they did was they changed basically the front end layer just to tidy it up and make it look a bit modern. But the challenge that the company was facing was that it was a tangled spaghetti mess beneath the hood. So while the new UI looked very fresh and modern, it was very difficult to get any changes done because if you changed one area, it was causing ripple effects everywhere else. So the idea was, let's do a rewrite, but we'll turn it into a very clean services model so that we can change the services independently of the UI, and we can bring on mobile, which was gaining popularity then as well. So in 2015, there was another rewrite, but this one was much deeper, and it actually involved changing all of the layers underneath the UI as well. So how it got broken out, similar kind of concept. You had the user journey of the marketing pages, which is trying to get demand for it. You search, you book, you check in, you might manage your flight, change your seat, etc. And I've thrown profile in there because it's a good example where if you're trying to build a user journey, sometimes you'll have elements like manage and profile, which don't flow fully into a journey, but it's okay just to attach those on where you think it best fits, because nothing is ever going to be a perfect, clean journey. So it was tackled as a complicated problem. Let's just do a full rewrite of what we're doing. So the marketing pages will introduce a new content management system, because the existing one just isn't fit for purpose. The search, we're going to write search services, checkout services, check-in services, managed services, profile services. And kind of that had a predictable, what people are used to in software, big, large scale software rewrites, the date just kept slipping. So what happened was it was said, okay, well, let's do an initial release. And there was a lot of discussion. This took a very long time to drop manage into a second release. So the idea was, if you could get through your booking, then we can sell the tickets. If you want to manage it, you go back into the old website. So you see quite a dramatic difference in how it looks and feels. But the idea was we'd fast follow with the managed services. And what actually happened was, as soon as we released that, we realized, okay, there's a big performance problem. And performance is one of those challenges. Yes, you can do a lot of performance testing, but even your assumptions about how people are going to use it can be incorrect. And that's what happened here. Usage patterns were slightly different. Therefore, the optimization that had been done in the services wasn't fit for purpose. So everything just dropped, and it was focused on get the performance problems resolved, which the team did a phenomenal job in doing. Then the next problem was, because of the redesign of the UI, and it had been made so much easier for people to check out. Unfortunately, they were checking out without buying a lot of ancillary services. And the model for a low-cost carrier is you make a lot of your profit. You lose money essentially, or close to losing money on the seats, and you make up the profit on the ancillaries. So it shifted then to, well, let's focus on making sure that we can get the revenue back on the ancillaries. And once that was done, Ryanair introduced at this time the My Ryanair product, which is you need to log in order to be able to purchase a flight through Ryanair. And one of the challenges was that, okay, well, this was a brand new product. We didn't know how customers were going to use it. So the focus was on, well, let's improve those profile services. And then a year later, after the initial release, it came down to manage. So the story here is that what you think is the most important might not actually be the most important, because you'll only find out what is the most important when you release early and your customers tell you what is most important. So what's key here is to make it flexible. So as I said in the last step, making it easy, you put out your map of what you think will happen, but you need to be flexible, because after you do your first release, you will learn what's most important and you'll need to be flexible to shift. So everything is priority one until you get customer feedback.